Before starting this video, I would like to give a shout out to my friends at Glaze. They've recently launched their new curved edge tempered glass for the POCO F1. It's one of the most unique products because it has got curved edges on the sides and it offers complete protection for your POCO F1. It's one of a kind product and it's case compatible with almost all of the cases too. So if you want to buy that, the link would be in the description box and you can use the promo code GIZMO for 10% off. Hey guys, Gizmodic here, and yes, it's finally happening. This is my review of the POCO F1. So this has been one of the most popular phones of 2018. So the first question that you guys are going to ask is, where the heck was my review? Well, honestly, the past 2-3 months have been really crazy. A lot of phones launched in the mid-range segment, and since I buy and sell almost all of my phones that I review, I had to pay attention to them. So the POCO F1 went off a bit in the background. Another major reason for me to not review the POCO F1 was that when this phone was launched, it had a lot of issues, some software and some hardware. And this has lately been the norm where all of the manufacturers launch a device with half-baked software and then they improve it over time. So I just thought, let's just wait, let the POCO team do their math and figure out the issues on the POCO F1. Only then I'll review this phone. So here we are almost 100 days later with the POCO F1 and I'm finally ready to give my thoughts about this phone. So without wasting any more time, let's get started. But I would like to give a one little disclaimer, which is the fact that I'm on the Android Pie beta ROM on the POCO F1. So some of the fixes as well as some of the features that I talk about may not be there on your POCO phone yet. But then don't worry, sooner or later these features would be coming to your phone very soon. So now that's out of the way, let's get started with my full review of the Xiaomi POCO F1. I'm very sure that by now you guys must have seen tons and tons of typical reviews of this phone, so I'm not gonna bore you with all of the specifications and things like that. What I'm gonna do is talk about all of the issues that this phone had. I'm gonna talk about how Xiaomi has fixed it, and lastly I will speak about my overall user experience with this phone. So let's get started with the issues first, and I'm going to talk about the screen bleeding issue. This issue has been spoken to death in the YouTube comments and in general online, and I have to say this was an issue on the initial lots of the POCO F1 devices. So fortunately my POCO F1 was not affected by the screen bleeding issue. A couple of people that I know didn't have the same issue as well, but then a lot of users online did have the screen bleeding issue, and in fact Xiaomi accepted that around 0.3% of the units have this problem, and they gave an explanation as well as to why that is happening, but honestly I don't buy what they said. What I know for a fact is that the initial lot of devices had this problem. You can either get it replaced or you can go to the service center and get it corrected. So yeah, screen bleeding issue was a thing on the older devices, but then I think the newer lots don't have this problem. So yeah, if you have the POCO F1, then please let me know if your unit had the screen bleeding issue or not. Mine didn't, and if it did on your phone, how did you fix that? So yeah, do let me know in the comments. But overall, I think the screen bleeding issue has been fixed now. The second issue, once again, that I've read about a lot in the comments is the fact that the POCO F1's build quality is pathetic. It's gonna break, it's not gonna last 2 years, and the screen is going to break the moment you drop this phone. Honestly, I agree that the POCO F1's build quality is not the best in the segment. The plastic materials don't feel premium, but that doesn't mean it's super fragile. I mean, I've had Samsung and Sony devices from 6 to 7 years ago which had a plastic body and they still haven't broken. So if you're worried about the fact that the phone might break over time, don't worry about it, because even though the phone is made out of plastic, it is robust and it will withstand normal usage. It's not gonna break into pieces. I know it doesn't feel as premium as the metal or the glass body devices, but then you have to realize Xiaomi cannot give you everything in this price bracket. I mean, if Xiaomi was going to give you a metal or a glass body with all of the current specifications that the POCO F1 has, the pricing would go up and the POCO F1 then would not be what it is. So you have to understand that corners are to be cut somewhere, and they did that in the build quality. That doesn't mean it's bad. It's not bad, but then it's not the best. And talking about the drop test and the fact that the display breaks, just get a tempered glass for the phone. You're gonna do that regardless of the fact that you buy a 12,000 rupee phone or a 40,000 rupee phone. Everyone buys a tempered glass, so just get one for the POCO F1. I have been using this one from my friends over at Glazed Ink. It actually has curved edges. So it curves along the curvature of the phone on the sides as well as on the edges, and it offers the complete protection for the POCO F1. All of the other glasses in the market have flat edges and they cover a bit of the display as well. This one doesn't, and you've got a proper full coverage of the phone, so even if you were to drop your phone, you won't break the display. So yeah, get a tempered glass for this phone and you can use the promo code GIZMO for 10% off. So overall, build quality of this phone is not the best, but then it's not that bad. And if you're worried about the screen breaking, just get a tempered glass and a case. I have been using the Spigen case as well on my phone and it's been working well. The third issue is something that has annoyed me a lot on the POCO F1, and that is the touch latency / ghost touch issues. If you're someone who types very quickly on the phone, you will notice this and you will get very annoyed. So let's say if you're typing PAPA. So if you're typing the letters on the left or the right corners of the display, if you're typing PAPA, it will sometimes type A before the P and vice versa, and you have to correct it and backspace it and type it again. So that's very annoying on the POCO F1, and the ghost touch issues are especially noticeable in PUBG. So you get these random ghost touches which really affect the gameplay on the phone, and this was really annoying on the POCO F1 initially. But then with the latest beta ROM update, they have fixed it to almost 90%. I mean, the touch issues are not that evident now. It's still there, I think, for around 10% of the times. But then it's very less, and overall now I don't get annoyed by typing on the POCO F1. And with respect to PUBG, the gameplay has improved a lot as well. I don't see ghost touches as much. It's very negligible now on my phone at least. So yeah, they have improved it with the latest update, and I hope that they push it to the stable ROM very soon. The last and the final issue that I want to talk about on the POCO F1, which is not fixed yet, is the Netflix and Amazon Prime playback at Full HD. It has the L3 level protection and not the L1, so you don't get Netflix and Amazon Prime at Full HD. And while the POCO team has said that they are working on a fix, there is no concrete information about it yet. So yeah, that is one of the issues that has been unresolved, and you can only watch Netflix and Amazon Prime up to 540p on this phone. But then other apps like YouTube, Hotstar, all of them work at Full HD. So these were the major issues that I had with the POCO phone, and a lot of people did too, and as you can see, they fixed 3 out of these 4 issues. So now let's move on to my experience with the POCO F1, and I have to say this is the best phone in its price segment. Especially the base variant of this phone at 21,000, which is the one that I have been using, is a steal. I mean, sometimes it even drops to 18,000 in some of the Flipkart sales, and nothing comes close to it in terms of value for money. You've got Snapdragon 845, you've got liquid cooling, the gaming performance has improved a lot, and overall you just don't have to worry about the performance on the POCO F1. It's amazing. You also got 4000 mAh of battery, which is a lot. Even if you use the phone heavily, it will at least go through one full day. And coupled with the fact that you've got quick charging support, you can charge this phone under 2 hours, which is great. The software experience is okay. MIUI 10 is very smooth, especially after Android Pie. It is feature rich. You've got the POCO launcher here, which has its own set of features, but I feel that somewhere this phone would have been better with stock Android, or maybe Xiaomi could pull off something like Oxygen OS. Because I don't see a lot of enthusiasts prefer MIUI, plus it can be annoying sometimes. The Mi Music and the Mi Video apps keep sending you notifications, so I had to disable them. I haven't seen ads on the POCO F1 majorly because I disabled ad recommendations, and I also am on the beta ROM, if that makes a difference. But I think ads are not an issue on the POCO F1 as far as I know, but if you have the POCO F1, then please let me know if you see ads or not in the comments. So yeah, Xiaomi should have gone with stock Android, and in fact you've got Lineage OS that works really well on this phone now. I'm mostly going to make a video about it, so please vote in the poll and let me know. Lastly, let's come to the camera. Once again, it's been a great experience. Xiaomi has enabled camera to API by default, so Google Camera with Night Sight works. I have a dedicated video about this, you should totally check it out. Night Sight works amazingly well on this phone. With the last update, I also got the night mode in MIUI app, but then to be honest, it's not as good as Night Sight. You also have the 960 FPS mode, which I feel is kind of a gimmick. It's not true 960 FPS. Video performance has been good too, although I wish we had electronic image stabilization at 4K and 60 FPS support in general. Snapdragon 845 is very well capable of it, but then for some reason they've just ignored the 60 FPS recording. But yeah, the POCO F1's camera is the best in its segment, especially with Google Camera, so please check out my videos about it. I'll drop a link in the video's description. Talking about some other miscellaneous things, the call quality as well as the network reception on this phone has been great. You've got dual 4G, you've got dual VoLTE, and there's a dedicated microSD card slot as well, which is very good. This phone also retains the headphone jack, so you can charge your phone and play PUBG, something that you cannot do on the OnePlus 6T. Although audio via the headphone jack while playing PUBG is a little disappointing because I don't think it's loud enough. I think the POCO team should work on it and make the audio via the headphones in PUBG louder, because otherwise the audio is fine. It's only in PUBG that I found that the audio was a bit lower than needed. You've also got infrared sensor for face unlocking and it works great. It's super fast even in extremely dimly lit conditions, and I'm happy that Xiaomi put the IR face unlock on this phone. It's one of the fastest face unlock feature on a phone of this price segment. There is fingerprint sensor too, and as always Xiaomi's fingerprint sensors are always fast and quick, and that is the case with the POCO F1 as well. You've got a 1080p display on the front, and that is something that I'm not a big fan of. The display is okay, the color and the saturation is good, but then it's not the best. I've seen better panels in a price segment lower than this phone. So yeah, Xiaomi somewhere cheaped out with the display, and I wish they would have gone with a better panel on the POCO F1. Also, now with MIUI 10 on Android Pie, you've also got support for HDR video playback on the POCO F1. The last thing that I would like to mention is the stereo speakers on this phone. Xiaomi advertised them as stereo speakers, but then honestly, they aren't. It's only an earpiece here and the main speaker is here at the bottom, and you can hear majorly the main speaker and not this one. It's not a true stereo speaker setup like you get on the iPhone or the Zenfone 5Z, and honestly the second speaker is almost non-existent. You don't even notice it when you're listening to audio on the loudspeaker. So yeah, POCO F1 does not have true stereo speakers. So to conclude, the POCO F1 without any doubt is one of the best all-rounders of 2018. It has got everything that an average user needs and some more, and for the price tag of 20 to 25,000 rupees, this is an epic phone. Nothing comes close to it in terms of the value for money proposition. But do note that this phone by no means is a replacement for the flagship phones like the OnePlus 6 or the 6T. No matter how hard Xiaomi tries to troll the OnePlus 6T, that phone without any doubt offers a much better flagship grade user experience as compared to the POCO F1. There is no comparison between those two phones. If you have a budget of 40,000 rupees, OnePlus 6T is the phone that you should be buying. But then for what it's worth, under 25,000 rupees, the POCO F1 is an amazing device, and this is the phone that you should be buying. I have no doubts about it. You can buy the POCO phone eyes closed. But then one gripe that I have with Xiaomi is that if they would have fixed all of the software issues before launching the phone, they could have avoided a lot of the negative publicity that they had initially. So yeah, like I said, that has been the trend lately, where all of the smartphone manufacturers are just launching phones with half-baked software and they're improving it over time. Even Google did that with the Pixel 3 XL. So I hope manufacturers don't do that, and Xiaomi, if you're listening, then please push all of the fixes and the features that you have with MIUI 10 on Android Pie to the stable ROM. I don't think it's right to make your users wait that long, and considering that you've promised the Android Pie update before December, you should start moving. The POCO F1 users will appreciate all of these updates a lot. Anyways, that's all I have to say about the POCO F1. I know I made you guys wait a lot for this review, but then I hope it was worth it. So if you guys enjoyed this video, then please hit the like button, and if you're new here, then definitely hit the red subscribe button and press the notification bell so that you don't miss out more videos like these in the future. And if you want the best tempered glass for the POCO F1, the link is available in the video's description. Use the promo code GIZMO and save 10% off your order. That's all for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back in notifications very soon. Peace.